if they get us to believe that racism no longer exists, white supremacy goes unchecked. Let me repeat that again. If they can get us to believe in the Obama effect, because see, Obama was put into office for one specific reason, to give them an excuse to say racism no longer exists. That's what his job was. That was his assignment, was to get us to believe that racism was dead. And he accomplished that mission. Because ever since the Obama presidency, we've been running around acting like racism no longer exists. So whatever the mission was, it was a very successful mission. But there's only one problem with the whole situation. Everybody else is told to throw their culture out of the window. Everybody is told that it doesn't matter anymore. It's a new day. We live in the Obama era. We're living in the great illusion. So follow suit. And guess what? They go unchecked. There is nobody to challenge it anymore. Because how can you fight against something that no longer exists? That's how they're able to exist. Because now that we believe that they don't exist, they can really hide now. And now they get to travel through. And now they get to move around in the dark. And now they get a chance to plot. Because remember, racism doesn't exist anymore. So we're not going to be fighting something that we don't believe exists anymore. This is why the Obama presidency was very important. Not only did it do that, it gave them a reason to say, hey, why should we give you reparations when racism is over? Why should we give you money when racism is over? Why should we have to give you anything? Racism is over. The Obama presidency done more damage to us than the Jim Crow era. Because at least in the Jim Crow era, we was able to thrive as a people. At least in the Jim Crow era, we all had jobs. At least in the Jim Crow era, we had our own restaurants. At least in the Jim Crow era, we owned our own houses. But look at us. We're living in the era of Obama, and we have nothing as a people. We have no stores, no businesses, no hospitals, nothing. You would think that now that racism is dead, we would be doing a little bit better. Now that racism is over, you would think that we would have more. But we have less. We have less. Because what you are witnessing is an illusion. What you are witnessing now is the illusion of inclusion. It's not really real. It's not tangible. You can't cash it in. It's make-believe. It is nothing but a mirage. And that's why, even though we are living in 2023, in the era of multicolorism, in the era of Obama, in the era of the first black president, black people don't have a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, because the illusion was put there to take from you. They knew you wanted a black president, so they packaged up everything they wanted to take from you within a black president. And they say, here you go. You asked for it, you got it. But it's gonna come with a price. You're gonna have to give up affirmative action now. Because remember, racism doesn't exist. You're gonna have to give up the Voting Rights Act bill. Why? Because racism doesn't exist. No, we're not going to give you an anti-lynching bill. Why? Because racism no longer exists. They played us, and they played us well. They played us, and they played us well. And this is why I can say with a clear consciousness that the Obama presidency done more damage than the Jim Crow law. And if you don't believe me, look around you. Black homelessness is through the roof. Black ownership is down. Unemployment is high. That is all the proof that I need. That is all the proof that I need. The proof is in the pudding. And that's why you're not going to get no reparations. Because remember, racism is dead. And you have black people running around here saying the same thing. So you can't have both. You can't run around here and say that racism is dead and ask for reparations. You see how that works? You can't run around here and say that racism is dead and you want an anti-lynching bill. Because why would we give you an anti-lynching bill if racism is dead? See how they played us? They pulled the 03 card Molly on us, gave us a black president just like we wanted. And it came with a price. And now they get to go unchecked. Because remember, it no longer exists. And now they can hide underground. And now they can move to and fro from one side of the earth to the other. And now they can move to and fro one side of the United States to the other, plotting and planning against you because you no longer believe that racism exists. And now they get to go unchecked. And while everybody else is running around here singing Kumbaya, they in the lab cooking. They in the lab plotting. Because we all know, especially the people that have common sense, that one thing we do know that isn't dead, and that's white supremacy. Because the country was built on it, and that is the foundation of the country. They couldn't remove it if they wanted to. The only way they can stay alive and continue to thrive is by keeping white supremacy alive. But now it goes unchecked because you believe that racism is dead. They pulled the 1-2 on you because they knew that if they can get us to elect a black president, it will bolster their argument that racism is dead. And that's why they look at you now and say, we gave you a black president. There is no way in the world that you can tell me that racism still exists. They got you. They got you. That's why now when we talk about it, it falls on deaf ears. Because everybody has been fooled by the Obama effect. That racism is dead.
Because when everybody's got a level playing field, everybody's competing, and we've dealt with some of the legacies of discrimination that have resulted in substandard schools or extreme poverty in some communities, then affirmative action ends up being an afterthought.